Great.
Online. Host. Room name. Waiting for Liu. Liu. Private.
Not connected.
You there,
to
Shale?
Steam Network.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm
Shale.
opening up.
All right. Room name is Waiting for Liu, and the password is Shale.
Alrighty. Go with somebody's friends. Update queued. What?
Oh dear. Somebody didn't come on ready for mini golf.
I spelled shale wrong.
Nice job.
You can be forgiven.
I've only
for
been
that.
doing it for
You've-
12 years.
You've only known
know
him
what?
for.
I before E fucked me, all right? Are you
What's the name
streaming?
of the-
Because you're not streaming yet.
What's
I'm
the
not
name of the
sure.
game?
And my call to action told me to, or told people to get on by now.
Oh, there it is.
I thought I was streaming. It says I'm streaming when I look at the screen. Hi, Assassin Cactus.
What the ass is going on?
Is this the Dark Souls of golfing games? No. What are you doing there, Norland?
Oh, there it is.
It says I need an update, but it refuses to do the update.
Boy, your keyboard is like a machine gun, dude.
You're welcome. Da 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 do. Hey, there's new stuff over there in the practice area.
There's
a
basketball.
There's a crashed sleigh.
So I'm editing videos, and I got to the first one, the first Eternal Darkness video,
Yeah.
and it was you and Eck there that night, and I had forgotten that we played through 3 hours of that game, and then I died and realized that I had never saved.
Sounds right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm on a dock, and there's a giant fish and a crab that's moving around.
I apparently can't connect.
Oh,
to
that
Steam.
fish is terrifying. It's a demon fish.
I don't know how the rest of my internet works, but I can't connect to Steam.
Oh, if you hit out onto the dock, it says you're off the course.
Where'd you find a duck? Norland, could you
What's up,
take a lesson from Shale and go into your Discord settings and
Go
And,
towards the ski ball, and then past it.
okay. So go to ask Shale what he did, but go to user settings, voice and video, change your automatically determine input sensitivity because I'm getting a little bit of echo from your ball face.
All right.
Your ball face?
I'm sorry about this, Norland, but we're professional streamers.
Are we?
Did your wife just laugh at you saying that you're professional?
Excuse me, wife? Did you just laugh at me saying we're professional?
Yeah, and the voice and audio, if you turn off the automatically determined input
Matt, say
sensitivity.
something loud.
Ha! I didn't hear anything from your end.
All right.
Huzzah.
So
good.
this is fun. I'm out on this dock on practice, and the dock is slightly lower than the rest of the track, so I can't get back off the dock.
Oh dear. Was that Liu getting on the server?
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
All right.
Good. We don't have to play golf.
We don't have to play golf.
Hey, there's
anymore.
pirate ships off in the distance over there.
We didn't even get the golf game started. Get on your roll. Get your roll 20 shit on and let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some shit done.
It's
Doing.
on.
So we're not golfing.
No,
Thank God.
we were just doing that while we were just doing that while we waited for Liu.
Some posers complimenting your wife's laugh on the YouTubes.
Well, whoever you are, I agree. Lovely laugh. She must be a lovely lady indeed.
So Carson Wentz might have torn his ACL. I'm just reading.
What? Really?
Yeah.
That's not
Jesus.
great.
Bummer.
Interesting. And Seattle lost, so that's good.
What
So
about
are the White
Atlanta?
Queens.
I was actually rooting for Minnesota to win, but they didn't.
Yeah, I felt dirty.
Yeah,
Who were they
I
playing?
did too.
Panthers.
Panthers, yeah.
Oh, why do we care about the
And
Panthers? I care about the Falcons
because-
and the Seahawks, right?
Because the Panthers are ahead of the Packers, and there's no way the Packers are going to catch the Vikings, so the Vikings might as well just win out. I don't care, or whatever. At least win today.
Right.
Holy shit!
The Vikings
It
could
would
First
lose
two wild
out.
cards to 11 wins, and the Packers are out. And now the Carolina Panthers have 9.
The Colts Bills game was crazy. There was like a
If
foot
the
of snow on the
Vikings
ground.
if the Vikings lose out and the Packers win out, the Packers win the division. So screw you.
Well, there you go.
All right, well,
New
that's
plan.
okay. Yeah.
Somebody alert the Packers.
That's unlikely.
Says you, Vikings fan. All right, here we are. We have begun.
We're
We still
apparently at Tim
need
Hortons.
Liuv on Roll20.
What the hell? Apparently, I didn't use the normal password or put it in my password safe, so...
Oh no.
Oh, son of a whore.
How come on your on the YouTube stream there's a map? On my Roll20, it just says World of Darkness.
Because I haven't pulled you guys over to the map screen, but there you go.
Oh,
I'm going to do the
Wow,
password
this is looking
recovery
very
game real quick.
zoomed in, and
What's that?
this is
I'm doing
much
the
more
password
zoomed in.
recovery minigame.
No, Shale, what's that?
Oh, it's just this is a fun map. It's much more zoomed in and very
Yeah.
detailed.
I'm
Well,
not
I've actually
seeing
got
that.
so this map's just a backdrop for all your dice rolls, but I've got an actual interactive Google map if you want to look at that. Why does it keep popping me up to the top left corner?
I'm having very weird internet problems right now.
Oh, like what?
I'm in Roll20, and I think that's working fine. I can get to my character sheet. I cannot get to YouTube. I cannot get to Google Maps.
I'm going to take this opportunity to get more gin.
Well, let me send you a link to my Google map because it's actually stored in Google Drive.
Because right now all I see is a black screen on Roll20.
Oh,
I can just use my imagination. Yes.
I guess you could do that. Oops.
Oh.
I meant to paste that. Here, hang on. I meant to
You
paste
I wonder
that.
why you
every
left
time.
the channel to paste
Yeah,
the...
no, yeah, I'm real smart. So see if you can get to that. It's on Google Drive.
Nice.
Nope.
Well, you'll just have to use your imagination.
I'm here.
All
I
right.
enjoyed that the Tim Hortons drive-through is not in the same place as Tim Hortons.
Sorry?
I'm just looking at the map, and the Tim Hortons drive-through is in a different place than the Tim Hortons restaurant.
Oh,
There's a whole lot of Tim Hortons in... Oh, you're right. Interesting. It's like 10 feet away.
Yeah. Kitty corner.
All right.
Is it 2 different businesses? It's probably 2 different businesses.
Yeah, they've probably got like a little kid sitting in a kiosk out there, and he's the Tim Hortons drive-through. He's actually got his own stock ticker symbol. Okay, so here we are. It's session 4. Who would like to recap session 3 briefly? Anyone?
I barely remember last week. I was half asleep and
You
blah,
were
blah,
half
blah.
asleep.
So
I'm still drunk on vampire blood.
I think it's Leo's turn.
I think it's Leo's turn. Leo, you want to take a crack at it, or?
Sure. So we were cruising up the highway, and we ended following, I don't remember his name's, Nimbus. I think
Adustus.
was the term. Adustus, yes. And we ended up in the bustling metropolis of Canada, Sudbury.
Greater Sudbury, yes.
Greater Sudbury. And the group split up with Albacore going to the library to learn. Sammy went on a binge and just kind of drank his way across town to try and get some more information. He ended up at a hunter bar, which I'll get back to. Oh, shit. What's her name?
Allison? Fluke?
Fluke hung out at Tim Horton pretty much the whole time. I think Timothy went and bought a weapon.
Yes, I got an amazing hammer.
An amazing hammer of hammering. +2 hammering.
Yeah.
Dewey kind of took a nap most of the night. But then Dewey, Tim, and Sammy all ended up at the Hunter Bar, which seemed to be kind of creepy and weird. And then
I felt at home.
So Sammy, felt at home. He was sidling up to the bartender and trying to make friends. He ordered some kind of drink but he drank it anyway. Meanwhile, Albacore finished his studying at the library, where he learned a bunch about the northern towns, Milnet and Sellwood, where people like disappear and things go bad. And then he met back up with Fluke at the Tim Hortons, and he had been getting text messages from Timothy all night about what was going on, and Sammy was drunk and things were going weird. And he mentioned to Fluke that they were at a Hunter Bar, and Fluke kind of freaked out a little bit. So Albacore sent the code word to Timothy, and the other three luckily hightailed it out of the Hunter Bar without any negative repercussions. And I think they all just met back up at Tim Hortons. Other than, Sammy drank vampire blood.
One minor repercussion.
You forgot the part where I needed to use the bathroom and rolled with 1 dice 3 successes.
Ah, yes, that's right. Timothy
and then completely failed to get into the wireless after that.
That's right. Timothy, our elite hacker, rolled an amazing success on his restroom check.
Fooled the bouncer.
But then
fooled the bartender.
Fooled the bouncer at the Hunter Bar that is supposed to keep normies out. But then he was unable to locate the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Which is all around you.
Great job.
I think I got most of it.
I think you got pretty much all of it. So give yourself a bonus XP for the excellent recap. Well done.
Sweet. I think I was supposed to give myself some from last week, and I forgot.
I have here
3 XP.
Okay, so let's true up everyone's experience real quick. You should have 4 + 4 + 3 for the base experience, and Norland should have +2 for the Allison puzzle and the recap of session number 2. Drew should have +1 for the recap of session number 1. Liu should have +2 for some doing a good job of role playing in session 2 and for the recap he just did. And Shale should have +1 for well, we'll find out. Shale, are you going to get +1 XP or no?
Oh yeah.
All right. I gave Shale an opportunity to do some out of band research here. Let's see what he's come up with.
You want me to say what I came up with right now?
Yeah. What do you got?
Well,
actually, before, so we'll weave that in skillfully into the session.
Okay.
So Fluke says, you know what? We should go to the hardware store and see if we can jerry rig some weaponry. Shale, go ahead.
Oh, I am all over this.
Consider yourself skillfully weaved into the story.
Right? No, that's good. All right. So, walking around the store, I found some pretty cool shit that would be pretty easy to use. First off, just because it's my crossbow and it's cool, I attached an axe head to it, so I have an axe crossbow now. So I'm going to use that in addition to my big ass flashlight. And then, like everybody always does, I found some cans of WD-40 and attached some lighters to them. So we got some flamethrowers now.
Okay.
I went through, found some tin foil and some muriatic acid, and we had Drewby drink a bunch of whatever out of a bunch of bottles. So now we have muriatic acid bombs. And then I found some nice light pieces of chain and a bunch of bolts and nails and stuck the bolts and nails in the chain. So we have a bunch of like Morningstar whips.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. That's some good stuff.
So was your task to research weapons you can make from a hardware store?
Hardware store weaponry.
Well, so all right. So first of all, give yourself +1 XP for the research.
Cool.
Now, though, would you please roll wits plus crafts with a +1 for your jerry rigging specialty?
Okay.
Roll it 3 times. 1 success. 1 success. 2 successes. All right. So the first one is the axe head on your crossbow.
Okay.
So your crossbow, let me find that actually. I don't know if we ever got this right, but note this somewhere. We should make a section on your character sheets for equipment. I'll do that before next week or next session. But for now, just put it in the notes section at the top. Your crossbow is a 3 damage weapon. And now, in addition to that, it serves as a 2 damage small axe. But despite the fact that it's a small axe, you need to wield it two-handed because it's a fucking crossbow. All right, so the second roll was for the impromptu flamethrowers, and luckily you got a success and didn't blow yourself up in a cloud of WD-40. Let's see.
Did he make these for us, or are these all his?
Yeah. I assume he used his vast wealth and crafting skill.
Oh, yeah, it's enough for everybody, other than the crossbow, obviously.
All right.
We got all kinds of muriatic acid. I got plenty of flamethrowers and then a chain for everybody.
All right.
Could you buy some spikes for the end of my bat?
Sure.
Yeah, you can probably do that.
That would have been
give me another crafts roll, and we'll see if he can affix them without blowing your bat up in a cloud of WD-40. Yes.
Okay.
Just one more or 3 more?
You'll have to use no hammer to do it.
Whoa!
Oh shit!
Nice.
You nailed them real good.
Drew, I thought your bat was aluminum.
No,
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay, your bat is wooden now. And,
Well, you can still put big bolts through an aluminum bat.
it used to be,
always been
Right.
Drew, your bat used to be a 2 damage club. It is now a 3 damage spiked club.
Okay.
Put that in your notes section and remember it.
So what are my hammer and knife that I bought at the hardware store last time?
Your hammer is a 3 damage mace,
All right.
What's my pistol?
and your knife is a 1 damage knife, but it does lethal damage instead of bashing. So you can mark that as 1L instead of, and everything else so far has been, 1B, 2B, 3B for bashing damage. Your knife is 1L.
All right.
Same for your crossbow axe, Shale.
That's
I
3L.
think we should call it a crossbacks from now on.
Yeah.
So if used as a crossbacks, if used as a crossbow, it's a 3 damage ranged weapon. If used as an axe, it's a 2 damage, 2L, 2 lethal damage small axe.
Gotcha.
So the WD-40 flamethrowers will function at a range of only 5 feet, but they will deal 4 lethal damage.
Wow.
And the muriatic acid bombs, you can throw them. They're like ranged weapons, but they deal, well, let's call them a one-hit kill on anything you're likely to run up against. But they can also be picked up and thrown back at you.
Muriatic acid is the thing that smells really bad.
It doesn't smell good.
Okay. But that's it. Like, it doesn't.
You're not going to
people.
need a Mr. Yuck sticker for this.
Oh, so it's
Well,
not.
I'm sure
I
if you,
did just
you know,
drink vampire blood.
I'm sure if you huffed it enough, it'd probably do something bad for you. But
Yeah.
Ooh.
No, it's not a one-hit kill. But let's say it does like aggravated damage, like 2 aggravated damage.
I'd like to roll for huffing.
No huffing. No huffing.
I would like to know what kind of skills will be needed to hurl muriatic acid bombs.
Either strength or dexterity, depending on the situation, and athletics.
Oh yeah, give me all the bombs.
So, like strength, if you're trying to just hurl it as far as you can. Dexterity, if you're trying to get it through a small area. Yeah.
I'm just wondering because I am obviously no good whatsoever for combat in any way.
Well, you have a spiked chain now.
I could have one, yes, but okay. So, I've got 3 experience points to spend. I think.
Let's take a look.
Actually, I think I have 4.
Did you cover what pistols are?
You might want to take a dot in weaponry if you're planning to swing a spiked chain around.
Well, I know. Oh, so they're covered in firearms, so I don't have to. That's something
Yeah.
else.
What? Yes, the flamethrowers are firearms.
No, my pistol.
Your pistol's a firearm.
So I don't have to write that down. I just write, I have a pistol.
You could write down what kind of weapon it is. Any attack is going to be an attribute,
Pistol.
either strength or dexterity, plus either firearms or weaponry, plus an extra bonus for the weapon. And your pistol is a 2 damage weapon, so you get +2.
Oh. Okay. 2 damage pistol.
Yep.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
But
So
so
that's what I
chucking a
got.
muriatic acid bomb is going to cost 1. Well, it's going to take athletics. I'm asking because albacore does not really. This is ridiculous. We don't need all this fucking weaponry.
Fair enough.
But maybe he's not gonna. I'm not gonna carry a fucking chain with bolts in it.
I will.
But
Well,
on the
I will
off
wear it
chance
as a
that
necklace.
shit goes sideways, maybe he should know how to throw something at something.
In that case, take a dot of athletics.
All right, I will do that.
Just so when I ask you to throw something, you've got good dex, but you don't want to take a -1 because you don't know how to throw things.
I picked up. I'm glad that Fluke was driving because I picked up 2 athletics dots while we were going from Madison.
You're doing
Yeah.
lots of lunges in the
It
camp.
was
I
pretty
was.
impressive.
I was doing a lot of curls
All right, so
with the beer
Shale
bottle
got
in my mouth.
Shale got 2 successes to create the bolty, spiky, chainy morning stars. So let's call those a 2 lethal damage morning star. Well, spiked chain. Lethal damage is pretty spectacular. That's a pretty successful crafts roll.
Nice.
All right. Has everyone got what they want noted down in their somewhere on their character sheet?
Yes.
All their new items and weapons and things.
Oh, how many of these things did he make? Did I get a morning star? No, you know what? My bat's good enough. It's fine.
Yeah, you've got a 3 bashing damage spiked club and a 2 lethal damage pistol.
Yeah. I feel pretty good.
Liuv
I'm gonna dual wield.
Liuv has dexterity and the ability to throw things. Norlin has a 2 bashing damage demo hammer. Is that what you said, or 3? 3 bashing damage.
So
Okay,
3.
and a 1 lethal damage linoleum knife.
Yep.
And Shale has many of the aforementioned things. Okay, all right, let's move on.
Do we have a limit to the number of muriatic acid bombs we have?
You have 1 each.
Oh, I have a
Each.
quick
All right.
question. I completely forgot what it was. Damn it.
Hey, everyone, stop! I have a question.
Oh, okay. So I have a +3 bashing demolition hammer and a 1 lethal knife.
Stabbing knife.
So if something, what should I prioritize? Does the lethal damage disable something where the bashing damage wouldn't?
It might. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
if you just hit something with a hammer, you might just bruise them, or you might break a bone or something. But lethal damage, you are cutting a hole in somebody, so there's a
Okay.
pretty good chance you're going to do some significant damage.
So,
Ancillary
like, if it's
to
a
the
skeleton, use the hammer.
yeah.
Is
sure.
my my crossbow?
Gotcha.
It's 3 what type of damage?
Crossbacks.
Your
Right.
your crossbacks is 2 lethal ranged damage and 3 melee also lethal. I'm sorry, backwards. 3 ranged, 2 melee.
Lethal, but lethal.
Lethal because it's a blade.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Let me find where we are in my notes. Sammy is affected by the embalming curse for another 21 days. Tim for another 14. Albacore for another 9. Dewey is not affected.
Was I injured on the way out of Madison, and has it been a day now?
So that was a bashing wound. No, you
Yeah.
weren't wounded at all.
Yeah, you should be fine now, even if it was bashing.
Your throat was all burny from drinking the...
Oh,
Oh.
yeah. So you
Oh.
not on the way out of Madison, but you took 1 lethal damage from the vampire drink, the flaming vampire drink that you failed to extinguish before chugging.
It
I
hasn't
chose
been 2
not
days.
to.
It-
I didn't
it
fail
came
to.
down.
I chose not to.
Well,
Well,
That's
it's
a
kind of
good
failure.
choice.
you can choose to fail.
You can choose to fail.
Choosing to fail is a choice.
Yes, it is. I think you may have used a willpower on the way on that night.
I don't think I
That may be
did.
what you're remembering.
No, I used the willpower.
Well, Shale.
That's what I'm saying.
Dewey.
That was
uh,
the thing that you needed a day.
Dewey wrenched his leg around backwards going down the garbage chute. So he had I think it was a bashing wound,
yeah.
but that would have been healed by now.
healed, yeah.
So, so I think everyone's fine right now.
So my health is better now.
Yes, your health is fine. No, you still have a lethal wound, but it's going to heal in 1 day instead of 2 because someone gave you some
I thought
some
it was
medicine
tomorrow.
help. No, it's still the same day.
Okay.
It's nighttime.
Yeah, I medicined you up.
Thanks, medicine.
You got done in the bar. What time? Like 8. You fled from La Vallée at around 8 o'clock, and then Shale and Fluke took you on a trip over to the Canadian version of Home Depot.
I would like to ask Fluke if there's any long-term consequences for ingesting vampire blood.
That's a good question.
It's a fair question.
She shrugs and says, "I don't know." Let me roll. She got 2 successes, so she has a little bit of knowledge about vampires, and she doesn't seem terribly concerned.
Oh, good. I'll be fine. Am I a
But
superhero now? Did I just become Spider-Man?
Why don't you try to climb the side of a building and find out?
Well, I don't know about Spider-Man. That was just the easiest reference I could come up with.
I'd like to
All
use
right,
my
I'd like to
encyclopedic
try-
knowledge to see if I can answer his question.
Okay.
Okay.
Roll wits plus. What did we say? Shit, where is it? I've got it here somewhere.
It's a merit, right?
Intelligence plus wits is encyclopedic knowledge.
Yeah. And that is... Whoops, not there. Here.
Oh.
3 successes.
Yeah, I feel like you tried to do this last time.
I don't
About the
remember.
vampire?
Yeah,
About
About
the
the
vampire
vampire?
blood? I don't think so.
I feel like you tried to look something up. Hang on a second. I gotta get the stupid rhythm bot going again.
You definitely look
Yeah,
something.
this is screwing with me not having mood music.
I turned it on YouTube. You can just play the playlist yourself if you prefer to mute the bot. Okay, so you got a bunch of successes on that roll. 3 successes. And I gave you a joke answer last time, which was, well, in Blade 2...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
yeah.
That's true. You did.
And I'm afraid your encyclopedic knowledge, even with 3 successes, still can't pull up anything more pertinent than that, because that is all the experience you have with vampires and drinking their blood.
Okay.
Any lore you may have accumulated over the years has come from probably fiction.
From watching the Blade movies.
Yeah.
So I have
what was
an
that?
occult speciality in vampires.
You do.
Can I use my occultopedia?
Absolutely. Roll intelligence plus occult with a +1 for your specialty. All right.
Never mind.
So
Jesus Christ.
you carefully examine your friend Sammy, and it seems that he is a vampire now.
Okay.
Okie doke.
Sammy's a vampire now?
I'll write that down.
As far as
me.
Timmy can tell, yeah.
According to our occult specialist.
According to our vampire specialist,
Yeah.
fucking Sammy's a vampire now. Okay, so Fluke makes sure everyone's equipped before you leave Sudbury, but she has been bound and determined since we last spoke to leave Sudbury and head north. Shale has, Dewey has made some good crafts rolls and assembled some interesting weaponry at a hardware store. We've figured out all the stats for your demolition hammer and your linoleum knife and your chain spikes and your spike chains and your WD-40 bombs. And hopefully you've noted all these on your character sheet. One last question for Shale. You might not know the answer to this off the top of your head, but your crossbow, you said when I asked you to describe it that it was black. But
Yes.
I'd like a couple of more details. Is it fiberglass over a core of wood. Is it carbon fiber? Is it a recurve bow? Is it a compound bow?
Oh, it's a compound. It's it. Well, let's see what. Let's. It is a carbon fiber with a scope on it. Yeah, it's black. Compound.
And it's a compound bow. Okay.
Oh yes.
So it's easier to you're not an enthusiast trying to show off on a target range. You're someone with an eye for utility. You have a shorter draw length and a quieter release, and all the benefits that come from a compound bow.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's black, so it looks bitchin'.
Mm-hmm. And it's black, so it's stealth. So
yeah, makes more sense.
Fluke suggests that you all hop in a car and head for Caprail tonight. Caprail. She wants to get moving, and strike while the iron is hot, so to speak. I think everyone's had some rest recently, so unless anyone wants to object on that basis or any other.
Are we taking Highway 80 or Highway 86 to get there?
Well, Google Maps tells you. Jesus, God in heaven. I'm going to stop zooming on the map on Roll20 because it's a real piece of shit. I don't think it's intended.
Are there any nice museums?
Right now you're at Tim Hortons. There's a railroad museum in Caprail.
Ooh.
We're not going to the railroad museum.
It could be really interesting.
If I'm still drunk, let's go back to Alex Trebek's house.
You are the buzz has worn off.
Oh, all right.
You were only buzzed.
Fuck Alex Trebek.
You had a beer at each of 6 bars, and then a shot of vampire blood at a 7th. So you're really not doing that bad.
I am a barfly.
Google Maps tells you you're going to want to head north on Highway 80. But you are, of course, free to choose another route. You are driving.
It does seem to be the more direct route.
Yeah. Is anyone looking at the map on Google Map? The map I shared.
I'm looking at the shared map.
Not yet.
Okay. So yeah, I noted a few things, like for example, Highway 80. It's the road out of Sudbury proper. Caprail is 33 kilometers or 20 miles in American to the north.
Okay, let's go there. Then there seems to be a lot of train tracks in that city.
Yeah, well, this is Railway Central. If you go back in Sudbury's history, this is where they built the Great Canadian Transcontinental Railroad straight through. Before they discovered.
Tell me that wouldn't be an amazing museum.
Well, that's one of few things Caprail's got going for it. There is of course one Tim Hortons. There's a church.
There's a welcome to Caprail sign that is noted on the map.
Nice.
I feel like that's worth stopping by.
So, are we leaving at night? Is that the plan? Are we leaving at night, or are we going to get some rest and leave in the morning? What do you guys want to do?
Let's leave at night.
Yeah.
Okay.
That seems like a terrible idea.
I'm well rested after my long nap.
You slept all last week, so you're doing good.
Right.
I am not rested. This is a terrible idea.
You'll be fine.
You slept a bunch while Fluke was driving. Fluke's the only one who's never rested.
I know, but it still seems.
Now.
Listen. I just drank vampire blood and I'm a little freaked out by it. I don't really want to go to an abandoned town in the middle of the damn night.
Juby, just accept that you're a vampire and let's get on with it.
Okay.
I don't know what your problem is.
Sammy.
Now, who said he was the Albacore said he was the vampire?
Timmy is convinced that Sammy is now a vampire.
Timmy is okay.
What is the plan here? Where are we going exactly?
I mean, if he thinks he's a vampire, I think I might want to be paying attention to him.
That's fair.
Just in case, with my crossbacks kind of just ready.
Yes, I'm just telling you I want to leave in the daytime to throw you off.
All right.
When you're in your coffin.
I get it. Okay. Fluke is throwing her hands up. She's just about ready to jump on a bus and head north on her own.
There's a train that goes to Milnet.
But if you all really want... Okay, stop looking up public transit options here. If you all really want to spend the night, she'll stay. What's the plan? Sounds to me like Sammy's the only one who wants to sleep.
I think we
Yeah, I'm
should
ready to
go.
go.
We're all
I'm
rested
ready.
up.
Let's
Okay.
roll.
It's only 20 miles.
Maybe Sammy can take a nap in the back of your crew cab.
It's gonna take us 15 minutes to get there.
Oh, bitch.
All right. So pile on into the
It's
car.
not that I'm tired. I'm terrified.
And
Fine. All my
Dewey,
persuasion points
Dewey.
doesn't matter. We're the shit.
you never asked to roll persuasion.
You didn't. Try
I
to
don't
persuade.
want to. Fine. I'm just gonna go with the flow.
All right.
Could have used subterfuge, I suppose. Misdirection. Let's
Dewey,
eat a cookie.
would you give me a dexterity plus drive roll, please?
Sure.
Please don't crash.
Oh dear God.
On public highways.
Wow.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
well, we're all dead.
Well, no, this wasn't actually a roll to drive. It was a roll for his specialty, which is detecting a tail.
Oh.
Oh.
And
I did not detect
he
the
did
tail.
not detect a tail.
I feel like you gave it away a little bit.
Well, it makes no difference because at this point you see police lights in the rearview
Oh.
mirror.
Oh.
Son of a bitch.
You are on Highway 80 outside Sudbury. You've barely left Sudbury. You're not in. There's like a little series of towns to the north, Val Caron, Val Therese, etc., etc. You're not there. You're in like this little wilderness area just north of Sudbury, and there's a police car
Cray
following. you.
Heights.
Yeah, McRae
Do
Heights.
they have their lights on, or are
These
they
aren't
just following
Valley.
us?
Well, the lights are on, and in fact the shiny blue and red lights are on, and they're alternating as police lights tend to do.
Okay.
Gun it.
Does Fluke have any reason that we shouldn't stop?
Fluke seems
Are we all in my truck?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Fluke seems a little frozen, like she's like a deer in headlights. She's not sure how to respond. She's
Yeah,
she's like anyone who gets pulled over for the first time in their life. They don't oh god, what's happening? So Sammy said gun it. Dewey, what do you want to do? You're driving.
I don't want to gun it at this point. I'll stop. That's fine.
We do have an awful lot of illegal weapons in our car.
Oh, that's true.
At least they're all concealed.
We put them all in the trunk though. So
Okay, it's fine. All right, let's
They're all in the
stop
back.
then.
Trunk. It's an open bed of a pickup.
It's got the
There's a toolbox in there.
it's got those toolboxes on the side. It's
Oh,
good.
it's probably fine then.
All right.
Yeah.
My pistol.
yeah. Let's stop.
What do you guys think? I'll bow to the group on this one.
I already told you what I think.
Dude, well, pull over. I mean, what are you gonna do? Just pull over.
That's true. Yeah.
We're not gonna
We're gonna have to
outrun.
stop
We're
at
not gonna
some
outrun
point.
the Mounties.
Hey guys, remember when we crossed the border illegally and don't have passports or any way to legally be in this country? Gun it.
Let's just stop, and then we can kill this one cop and move on.
Oh my god, this is escalating quickly.
We're not gonna, if we try to outrun the Mounties, we're gonna attract more attention.
Albacore's an
We're not gonna
intense
lose
fella.
them. There's one road between here and where we want to go.
I'm stopping.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Dewey hits
You're
the
very
brake pedal.
persuasive, Drew. Don't worry.
Oh, that's true.
Dewey hits the brake pedal. And
The truck doesn't stop. Fuck.
no, the brake lines are cut. No.
Because he failed his driving rule.
In the U.S., you're used to the cop stopping behind you and shining all of his lights into your face, but in Canada, they're probably more polite. But what happens, in fact, is that rather than stopping behind you at all, the car approaches and then turns a bit and pulls around you and moves to sort of block you from the front. And as it pulls into your headlights, you get a look at it, and it's a rusted-out minivan. The police lights are not on top of the car. They're like on the inside of the windshield.
You dumb bastards.
And they turn off.
Push him out of the way.
The police lights turn off.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm staying pulled over.
Do you have a cattle guard on the front of your pickup?
Yes.
Drive through it.
I'm waiting to see what comes out of the car. I'm fully prepared to hit the. I'm not putting my truck in park
All right, so
until I see what's coming out of the thing.
facing you on the right side of the van, which is parked at sort of a 45-degree angle in front of you, There's one of those big sliding doors on the side, and it rolls open, and two guys get out. And they do not look like cops. They are brandishing weapons.
Did they look like someone we saw in the Hunters Club?
Sammy, would you give me a Wits plus Composure roll?
All right.
You
I have no idea.
You recognize all 16 of these people as as your grade school teachers from 1978.
This isn't going well.
Good try.
So they are approaching.
What kind of weapons do they have?
Who else was in La Vallée with Sammy?
I was.
Okay.
Can I roll to see if they were guys from
Dewey
the...
was too. Timmy
place?
and Dewey, why don't you both roll Wits plus Composure with a -1?
Wits plus composure.
1? No.
Congrats on not being drunk.
Thanks, man.
This is why we should have stayed in town.
Oh, okay. Dewey. So Timmy, you recognize one of them. Dewey, you definitely know that the first guy to get out is... there were two groups of people talking at the Hunter Bar, and the one group that was talking about the Huntress, he's from that group. And he's no longer decked out in Van Helsing gear, and he left his blunderbuss at home. He's wearing a flak jacket that looks much more military than Fluke's Kevlar vest. And God knows how much weaponry is tucked away in it, but one visible item is what looks like a titanium spike. It's clipped to his vest with a carabiner, and it's swinging around freely, bumping into his thigh while he walks.
So, Sammy, you are fucked.
Did Dewey remind us that this was the group talking about the Huntress? Did he say that to all of us?
Ask Dewey.
Dewey, did you tell everybody that?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Fluke, you ever heard of this Huntress person? Seems like it might be you.
Me? No. I'm not a hunter. The other guy who gets out of the side of the van is wearing a tan trench coat. He looks like he's been sweating a lot. His skin is oily. His hair is slicked back and damp. And he looks very, very angry. And they are approaching.
I'm back.
Throw it into reverse and hammer.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm backing up.
Oh.
Not too fast, but
at
so they can't.
extreme velocity.
No. I'm just gonna.
Also, as you're backing up, shout, "What do you want?"
I'm gonna back up like 50 feet, and yeah, somebody.
Ramming speed.
Well, the first guy, who you recognize from La Vallée, jumps and ducks back into the van, which begins accelerating backwards along with you. Actually, it does more sort of a Y turn and comes forward toward you. The guy in the trench coat just looks even more furious and starts sprinting.
At me?
Toward you,
Shoot
yes.
your crossbow out the window.
Fluke, thoughts?
Back.
Fluke is frozen. She's out of sorts. She has no idea what to do.
Run these fuckers over and then ram the rusty minivan off the road with your giant pickup. I will open my door and knock somebody down. Yeah, Albacore, what do you got to say in this situation, you bitch?
I would like to search my memories to see if this is standard mount protocol or not.
Okay, they're not mounties.
Wits plus intelligence.
They often are found in rusty minivans.
Wits plus intelligence from Albacore.
Doing it. It took a while.
4 successes. You've seen enough information on the Mounties and the Canadian Police and the Canadian Border Patrol and the Canadian Army to know that these guys are none of those. And they are not following any standard procedures of any of the aforementioned groups.
Well, all right. They're not cops, guys.
Dewey, what are you doing? You're out of time.
I will lean out my window with my baseball bat of spikes. You drive
Don't you
by.
have a gun?
How about your gun?
No.
Fire a warning shot, Sam.
I think I'll be able to drive past them quick.
I don't
I'll
want to
just
fire my
veer
weapon
around
because
them
it might draw the actual
and
mounties.
go.
Are you gonna try to ram the van or anything?
No, I just want to get. I'm just gonna swerve around them and hit it.
Disable the vehicle so they can't follow us, you jackass! What's wrong with you?
All right, fine, Sammy. Talk
Am
me
I
into
the
it.
only
I'll-
one who's
I'll
ever-
ram
yeah,
the,
damn right
I'll
I
ram
did.
the back of the van.
All right,
as
well,
we
the
go
trench
by.
coat guy is like slapping the hood of your truck right now. He's within slapping distance. So it's
No,
time to
he's
make a decision.
underneath. Because you were going 50.
He was going backwards and then he stopped, and then we had a chat about what he was going to do next while they continued to approach.
Oh,
so
dear God.
They're here now.
All right. Well, now I'm going to move forward at a fast velocity.
Okay, give me a dexterity plus drive roll.
Please don't get a 0.
Yeah, right.
1 sec though. 1 second. So for the trench coat guy, okay, give me a dexterity plus drive roll 3 times.
Mac, you want to ban somebody on the YouTube chat who's trying to tell us how to hard boil our eggs with
nice.
meeting for sex?
Block. You're blocked, son.
You have 5.
Okay, so don't add them up. The first you got 2 successes on the first roll, 1 success, 2 successes. So the plan of record was, you're going to
Hit the
just
gas,
blast
run over
straight
the
through Trenchcoat Man, then ram into the van, and then tear off down the road. Okay.
Yes.
So you got 2 successes on the first roll. Trenchcoat Man, he got 3 successes on his attempt to dive out of the way. So you do not run him over.
Damn it!
On the second roll for the van, the driver of that van is not as skilled a driver as you, so he doesn't get as many dice. And yet, 1 success. So let me think. We'll say you wing him, and you sort of send him spinning a bit off the road. You don't knock him over or anything.
Okay.
And the third roll is not contested. You're just tearing ass down the road, and at this point you're trying to shake a tail, which is a specialty of yours.
Mm-hmm.
So give me another
You have a
dexterity.
specialty for shaking tails?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well done.
So do I
I'm
do
glad
the
we're
same
not in the
5 or
grease
do I do
mobile.
Yeah.
do I get an extra one for the shaking tails?
Let me find your character sheet again real quick and make sure I'm not talking out of my ass. Drive, yeah, shaking tails. It's technically a shaking tails specialty. I did give it to you.
How the hell
earlier
did
for-
his stunt driver feature not play into some of those things? Like hitting a guy?
Let's remind me what stunt driver does.
Merits. Yeah, let's look at that. I forgot about that too.
Yeah, you got to remind me of these things sometimes.
I can't see everybody else's, otherwise I
Drive
would
you
have.
can perform an unrelated action simultaneously. I can shoot
yeah.
while I'm driving.
Yeah, you can drive while doing something else.
Ooh, cross backs you in the van on the way by.
No,
Shoot
the
out its
guy.
tires.
Yeah, you want to try shooting across
Yeah, I'm
with a
gonna
bolt
try
under
to-
his tire as you pass? You
No, I'm
can.
gonna try to shoot.
The driver. Oh, the
No, don't murder a person. That seems.
Yeah, no, I'll try to shoot his tires.
There you go.
All right, so as you pass him, you're going to take a shot. Now, this is going to be difficult because A, you're moving, and B, you just sent him into a tailspin right before making the shot, so it's going to be hard to aim this. Why don't you roll dexterity plus firearms plus 3 for the crossbow, minus 5.
So dexterity, firearms, 3 for the crossbow, and then minus 5.
Yes.
It's 6. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, plus 1 for your firearms specialty.
Nothing.
Jeez.
I would
Missed the
like
tires.
to. I would like to fire at the tires while we're driving past as well, and I would like to use willpower to do so.
Ooh, okay.
Dang.
Dexterity plus firearms plus 2 for your pistol.
How the hell? Hold
Minus-
on. How do
minus-
I click a willpower again?
Double click and just change it to an X.
There we go.
So you want dexterity plus firearms plus 2 for the pistol plus 3 for your willpower minus the same 5 that Dewey had.
Although, I mean, does she have? because he's not worrying about driving at the same time. He can concentrate more.
Well, you weren't worrying about driving because you're a stunt driver. You can do two things at once.
Fair enough.
He's affected by the same atmospheric
Wow.
conditions
Yeah,
you
fucking
are.
A.
Gotcha.
4 successes. Okay. You
Your
squeeze
bullet
off.
hits all 4 tires.
You squeeze off. You squeeze off 2 shots, and fucking Deadeye Dan here takes out 2 tires.
And the spare.
Nice.
The only reason you don't take out a 3rd tire is that now you're too far away and it's a harder shot. But that's pretty
He's only
fucking
got
good.
1 spare. What the hell guy drives around in a rusty minivan with 2 spares? That's ridiculous.
All right. So you're speeding off into the night, and
You're welcome, everybody.
Trench Coat Man is still sprinting after you, and he realizes what you've just done to his van, and he is just howling in anger. But it's rapidly receding into the distance.
Is he literally howling?
No, he's as a human would howl, not like a
Oh, all
werewolf.
right. Well, there was talk of werewolf urine earlier. So I just
Why don't you give me a wits plus composure roll?
Me?
Sammy, yes.
Okay.
All right. So you're starting to put it together. These are hunters. They've got an expressed distaste for supernatural things. Fluke was a little worried about meeting any of these people because she is a supernatural thing. And his howl is distinctly non-werewolf-like, so they are probably just humans who are out for blood.
Okay.
Neat.
I would like to roll to find out if Fluke is turned on by my awesome shooting.
Give me presence plus persuasion -6.
I
Use
can't
willpower.
roll -1 dice.
Use a
Oh,
willpower.
yeah! Willpower. I'm using
You don't want to spend a willpower on
Don't
this,
use
Drew.
willpower. Use a chance.
You really don't want to spend a
a
willpower.
chance? What's a chance?
So what does that reduce you to? -6.
-1.
-1. Well, so that's 0. So yes, you can say, fuck it, 0 dice, I'm going to roll 1 chance die. And what that means is, if you roll a 10, you get a success. If you roll anything else, it's a failure. If you roll a 1, it's a spectacular failure.
Chance!
Yes!
Well, Fluke is...
Wait. Before you go on, what would a spectacular failure have done?
she probably would have opened the door and kicked him out.
Okay. It's not like you die or...
No. No, it's contextual. But with a success on a chance die, we're not... it's still...
success on
Drew.
a chance die.
Okay, true. 2 successes.
Did she start blowing me right there? in front of everybody?
Drew, it's still only 2 successes. It's
Okay,
remarkable
fine.
that you got that much. She's sitting there and she's kind of squirming a little bit. She's not. She's uncomfortable. Something has affected her, and she's not too cool with it.
Something has awoken inside of her.
Yes.
She thought she was a lesbian, but I turned her back.
That was the -6. Yeah. Now she's thinking.
She's normally not into vampires.
She's thinking about experimenting now.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There is a chance. There's 2 successes
All right.
on a chance
Good.
die. That's pretty fucking amazing,
Moving on.
frankly. All right, so Shale, heading up north through a series of towns. I assume you're going to take Google Maps route,
Yep.
and you're probably going to.
We can see the interesting fork and the boring fork.
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay.
I shared the map with that in mind. You understand?
Okay. Shit if I know.
You're probably going to want to take a few. I mean, you tell me how paranoid you are. You want to take a few roundabout trips to throw them off your scent in case they manage to patch up their tires, or are you just going to take a beeline straight north and chance it?
I think we should chance it. They probably know where we're going.
Well, let's see.
Our best chance now is to beat them there.
Yeah.
That's the boring fork.
All right, so yeah, you're looking too far ahead. So you get to
At this point, I'm just. Yeah.
you get to Cop Rail, you know, it's like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night now. Maybe even later, probably like 11 o'clock. The Railroad Museum is closed. I'm sorry, Albacore.
Damn it.
Peking Palace is still open, but that's a little off the beaten path.
I'd like a smoke and some time alone with Fluke. So
So we should definitely stay on the road.
Yeah. Can we roll against him?
Otherwise, Fluke is going to kill Sammy.
Well, you know, he's going to have to keep convincing her. It's going to be an extended roll requiring many successes, but
That's a hint.
I am a golden god.
all right. So, are you continuing on through Caprail and on north? Or are you
I'm
going to
spent.
stop
I'll
and
do whatever
something,
you guys say.
Yes.
Do you guys think we should keep going?
I say we should just keep going and get this over with.
And so we know we're headed to. Where do we know we're heading to?
Google Maps can tell you how to get to Sellwood or Milnet.
We know we're on the way to Sellwood. That's what we
Yeah.
like. We
I
know
will
that's where we're going.
reiterate that before we left town and had to run somebody off the road and I had to be an amazing shot who took out 2 tires, I said, we should fucking stop and go into this in the daylight. And Fluke seemed okay with it. So I'm going to say it again.
Fluke would have put up with it, but she wanted to go.
So you would what you're saying is you would like to stop when you know there are people chasing you. And you just disabled their vehicle. You want to stop.
Seems like a solid plan to me, the game master.
These people.
Yeah,
son of a
Don't
bitch.
trust him.
That's actually probably a good idea because they wouldn't expect us to stop.
Oh, you want to
Listen,
hide out?
he just fucking said they're gonna rape us in our hotel room.
Who said that?
The fucking game master, man.
No, it's fine.
That's what he said.
The game
That's what
master
he
said that he
He's
thought
rolling
it was a
dice
great
right
idea.
now for how many penises each of these people have.
You hear that? That's dice right there.
think each of them have?
Yeah.
That's what he said. Okay.
I bet you Albuquerque could take 4.
All right. Final warning here. We're in Caprail, and I'm wondering
Son of a
whether you're
bitch.
stopping or not.
We're not stopping. He talked me into it.
No
Right.
stopping.
So you
We're
continue.
not stopping. Okay.
Don't stop till you get enough.
You reach the fork in the road, and to the right, it looks like the highway continues, and to the left, it looks like what maybe used to be the highway continues, but it's significantly less traveled these days. It looks like more of a path than a road
Portland's
now.
Road, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. That's the continuation of Highway 84 these days, but
Oh,
used to be
old 84.
Yeah, old 84 goes to the left, and now it's called, what's it called?
Says old.
Moose Mountain
Moose
Mine
Mountain Mine
Road. Yeah.
Dear Jesus.
Welcome to Canada, folks. And that's actually the name of it. All right.
Yep.
So
Sammy needs
that
more
seems
gin.
like the way to go since it's the less traveled road. They might not expect us to go that way.
Well, it depends. Why don't you give me a wits plus composure roll? And add in your occult. Two successes. You suspect that the only thing of note up here is wherever the hell it is Fluke is taking you right now, and if the hunters are more familiar with the area than you are, then they will know it. And they will furthermore suspect that if they want to go find you, that is where they'd head. So, there you go. So, we're north of Coprail. We're at the fork in the road. And,
So they know we'd go that way. I think.
well, probably, you suspect. There's just not a lot up here other than Canada. So you
is-
pass.
What does Fluke think about all that?
Fluke is pretty convinced that the hunters were there for her. She's not sure what they would have done if you had allowed them to approach the car any further than you did. She would prefer not to speculate.
Oh, good.
Does she want a hug from Sammy? Would that help?
Well, I guess
She's
one thing
not,
I'm
she's
wondering
not an
is,
emotionally expressive person, Drew.
No, I know.
So
I'm just asking.
we know we have to get to Sellwood. And looking at my GPS thing here, if we take the other road, I'm not going to get there.
No, you've got it. You're that. This is the road to Sellwood.
So, I mean, if that's where we know we're going, that's the way
You
we
can
got to
get
go.
there if you follow it,
No,
and you get up
there's a
to.
roundabout.
There's another road that goes around.
Yeah, you know how long that would take? Look at that road.
Yeah, I am looking at that road, and I'm also thinking that if these other people who are tracking us know where we're going,
This
not a
road
terrible
doesn't
idea.
even have a name, Drew.
I know, but it goes there. It's a place.
You're talking about.
But if they know where we're going, then they're going to be where we're trying to get if we take the long way.
Oh my God! You're talking about this like deer path.
It's not a deer
Yeah.
path.
Oh, for God's sake, take
That-
the
you don't-
direct route.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we're taking
Sorry, take
the
the direct
interesting
route.
fork. We're taking
Route.
the interesting fork.
Well, it's lucky I'm a
the
goddamn
direct
ninja
route.
when it comes to shooting at tires.
Yeah, you
So
are
it's
a
fine.
badass. Okay,
Right, Fluke. And
kind
I
of
winked at her.
impressing women, but not really.
and kind of making women think about things reflectively for a few minutes. Okay, Milnet, population 0.
I like this. Get out, wrangle some meese, and to ride and abandon the car.
Yeah. So you're not headed to Milnet. Fluke, you approach Milnet and you sort of look over at Fluke with a raised eyebrow as if, hey, is this where we're going? And she says, nope. Drive on. The path continues. All the way to Sellwood. Before you reach Sellwood, though, your car, it's like the distributor cap fell off or something. It just stops firing. The dashboard still has power. It's a what? Sorry.
There's no distributor. It doesn't matter.
Okay, then
Modern
let's say
engines don't have distributors. I'm just whatever.
what doesn't have a distributor?
Modern engines.
Modern engines. Well, you have a car from 1974, don't you?
Your
Mine.
windshield washer
No, mine's
fluid.
No, it's a nice new car.
truck.
Okay.
Fell off.
Well, then let's say it's more like the alternator disappeared suddenly, and
All right.
the dashboard slowly fades, and the spark plugs slowly hiccup a bit and stop firing, and your car drifts to a halt.
I have a question. Did we stay on 84 or did we take Milnet Road?
You are on old 84.
We're on 84.
Those are not. They run parallel to each other for the most part. And they both get to Sellwood.
You're on Moose Mountain Road, as far as I understand.
But at Milnet we could have turned. I'm looking at Google Maps here. This is a thing.
Milnet Road goes to Milnet, Drew.
Yeah.
And then it keeps going.
No, it
What are
doesn't.
you looking? Oh, it
That's
does.
strange.
That's a railroad, Drew.
That's a railroad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that makes
no,
sense.
I know. I see what he's looking at.
Yeah, see, you see how Moose Mountain Road kind of like veers to cross it at a 90-degree angle? It is definitely a railroad.
No, I see what he's. If you zoom in farther, that shows there is another little road.
I know, and
I see what he's looking
I'm
at.
looking at. I'm looking at it.
It's a railroad. It's for sure a railroad.
It's a railroad. So you're not driving on the railroad, I presume.
They'll never suspect that.
I'm driving on the railroad because I make
It's
poor choices.
it's a bit past Ironside Lake Road that your car comes to a halt. And
Ironside Lake Road.
Okay.
since we're all looking so closely at the map, I'll just tell you.
Oh shit, that's a haul.
So like by that big long lake. Sort of? Is that what you're saying?
No,
Before that, but yeah,
no,
sort
that,
of
that is Ironside
between
Lake, but
yeah.
it's the road.
Ironside Lake Road, just after Ironside Lake Road, before you reach the long lake, your car stops.
We've got a full mile or 2.2 kilometers to get into Sellwood.
I want to ask Fluke if she detected anything magical that would have caused this.
Oh, good call.
Oh, there. Okay.
So many dead.
2 successes. She seems deeply unsettled. Yes, she says. Something happened.
So if we back up 5 feet and turn around, will the thing start again?
Tell me to back up if the truck doesn't start.
Well,
You're
push it
welcome to try.
backwards. Are we? No, let's fuck it.
No,
All right, let's
yeah.
just walk in the middle of the night in Canada
Watch out for moose.
with somebody on our tail. This
we
is
have to
great.
make a moose roll.
This is an awesome idea. I
Yeah,
look
but
forward to
if
fighting
we-
wolves.
If we,
I think we should try to push the truck like
No,
to the side of the road,
why?
just so they can't see it if they come by.
Yeah, so the
Oh.
hunters won't see it. It's a decent.
Well, there
idea.
are woods
Yeah.
there. Do we want to?
I think we should try to push it back a few feet.
Just to see what
until it
happens?
starts.
That's a solid plan. All right, let's push back like 20 to
to
where
before Ironside Lake Road.
Yeah,
and see if there's like a bubble, like enter the bubble and it dies.
Okay. So why don't the group of you give me a strength plus athletics roll,
Oh dear God,
and
that's
we'll
a
add
bad
up.
one for
We'll
me.
add up your successes.
Hey,
Yeah, I got two. I got 2 out of 3. I am on
Nice.
fire tonight.
Is Albacore gonna roll? Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
0.
Yes.
All right, so
Albacore
that's so
sucks.
And by
So
that I
it's-
mean you guys do it. I'll steer.
1 from
we
Dewey
push
and
and
Timmy.
Albacore falls under the truck.
1 from Dewey and Timmy. 2 from Sammy. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the total of 4. Let me actually
So
find.
Sammy picks up the pickup and carries it backwards.
So it's an extended action. Why don't you all roll again? I assume you're continuing to push since nothing has happened yet.
Yes.
Jesus.
Oh, I'm out.
You got another one.
I pulled a hammy.
Did you just type the number 2 into chat, Lee?
Yes, I did. I hit the wrong button.
You're really bad at
I choose
athleticism.
2 successes. Now I got
Oh,
You're not
the
fooling
wrong
anyone.
window.
Are we still doing this?
No, this time you failed miserably.
What?
And nothing's happening. The truck is not. I mean, I assume based on what you've said, Dewey's
We've
hopping
pushed
back
it
in
far
and trying
enough
to
that
start it.
nothing's
Yeah.
been happening.
You've
but
pushed
we
it all the
haven't
way
pushed
back to the road, but it's getting harder and harder to push. You're slowing down. Your weaklings.
Must be. a hill.
Well, okay. Now that we've figured this out, I actually I look at the truck. I look at the engine. I'm trying to determine if there's anything obvious that happened.
There's nothing wrong with the truck.
Okay.
I won't even make you roll.
Does the
Looks
power still work? I mean, do the lights still work? It just didn't run.
No, the lights. It seems like the battery has been completely drained, as far as you can
Okay.
tell. But everything is intact. Nothing is broken. But,
Are any of our other electronics working?
everything else is working? I mean, you don't have a signal out here, but yeah.
All right. Well, whatever. Yeah. Let's push the thing off into the woods.
Okay, one more strength roll from everyone, please.
I'm gonna type 2 in the
Strength plus
wait,
athletics.
just strength?
Strength plus athletics.
Hey.
0.
Dang! Dewey's motivated. All right, off into the woods, no
Yeah,
problem.
he's gonna save his truck.
I
Dewey,
still rolled a 7 on my one.
Dewey, give me a yeah. That 7 is worth a lot more than a 6 or a 5 or a 4. Dewey, give me a composure plus streetwise, so -1 because you're not skilled in streetwise.
Okay.
You do a fucking terrible job of covering your car up with some brush. In fact, if anything, it's more conspicuous now than it was before you decided to try and...
Christ. Can I help him with this?
Sammy, give me a composure plus streetwise roll.
All right.
I'm gonna help too. Roll the
No,
same.
just Sammy for now.
Wow.
3 successes? Okay. All right. You reassure Dewey that his car is concealed.
That's
There we go.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Friend.
Appreciate that.
Wait, he reassures him, or he actually hides the truck?
He moves a few leaves around, and suddenly, magically, it seems 85%
The truck
less visible.
disappears.
Awesome.
All right.
You're welcome, everyone. Now we have a vehicle that we can hide in later that doesn't work when we're all running away from the vampires. That I'm going to drink their blood so I can get high again. And
You note
Have-
Fluke didn't even attempt to help you push the car at any point here. She's standing in the road, like antsy, like hopping from one foot to the other, trying to avoid just sprinting straight towards Sellwood. She wants to go.
I want to ask her if she has any speed spells she can apply to us so we can get there faster.
And this is your game master checking her character sheet. No, she doesn't really have anything like that.
She does have slow fall. I remember that from when we jumped out the fucking rope.
If that's what you want to call it.
It's something.
Let's just turn that on. Just yes.
Yeah, let's. Hey,
So you're heading up the road.
I would like to ask if she has any Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon tree jumping spells.
She has even fewer of those.
Okay, so we can't just walk across the treetops. Got it. All right, moving on.
Okay. So it's about a mile and a half walk to Sellwood, which is the head of a series of mines in a range of hills called the Spine. And you can see it marked on the interactive map. There's a whole area there of just a line of mountains where there's incredible rich ore deposits. And Sellwood is just as far as they took the road. The mines are all in that area. Was that?
Moose.
We're going to be rich.
Yeah, you're going to be super rich 150 years ago.
Gonna be rich. Oh.
So it takes you, 12 minutes or so to get to Sellwood, and then...
What are we, sprinting?
12 minutes to go a mile, Drew?
I'm fleet of foot.
That's like a reasonable...
I've been there and back already.
It's like a brisk walk.
I was joking.
Okay.
Right, moving on.
All right, moving on. Once you get to Sellwood, it's pretty much just like an empty parking lot. This is clearly where people they would drive up here on the mountain roads, and they'd park, and then they'd hike up a path into the mining area. The parking lot is old and decrepit. There are a lot of cracks in the ground and plants growing up through them. It's not been used in many, many, many years. But the moonlight is illuminating everything pretty well. You don't need flashlights or anything. You can see everything going on around you. Even once you get to the path, where there are no lights, it's a broad path that has seen a lot of traffic over 100 years or so. And there's plenty of light from the moon now that your eyes are getting accustomed to the dark. So you continue on toward the mines, I guess.
I'd like to do actually, I want to tell Sammy to do I forget what it's called, where you can test, see if you can sense anything.
A cult roll?
No.
Your unseen
Sixth
sense.
sense or whatever?
Yeah,
Unseen
sense.
sense. Yeah, that's a thing.
It is. Let me look at that again real quick. I remember. So you're going to be actively looking for something in the environment. So
Yeah.
Why don't
I
you
feel
give
like
me?
I'm gonna have to trip over my dick not to do this.
Why don't you give me wits plus? Actually, no. Intelligence plus. No, sorry. You're better. You're better at wits.
Yeah. Thanks.
Wits plus occult for your unseen sense. You're not. So if you were investigating with a fucking magnifying glass, you'd be using intelligence. You'd be using investigation, but that's not what you're doing. You're just checking to see if you've got the heebie-jeebies right now.
Yeah.
You have one success. You've got the heebie-jeebies right now.
Thanks, everybody. That was great.
I would like to just try to recall what I learned from the library about Sellwood and just kind of generally remind myself and the group about...
the YouTube stream has gone to a
stuff
lit
here.
house at the end of a walkway.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, that's my bad. So, you were talking to librarians. Well, okay, this is recent information. You don't have to roll for anything. You were talking to librarians. You were looking stuff up. People were, they had some info about Milnet, but they were more eager to talk about Sellwood. It's a fun story.
Ooh, fun.
You consider it bullshit. But there was a legend. There was a legend about a death cult somewhere up in the Spine, and they used to come down into Sellwood and Milnet, and even all the way into Coprail and Sudbury later as they got more daring. They'd come down and kidnap people. And as the story continued, leading up to the quote-unquote event in the 60s, a few people escaped from some compound up in the spine, and along with a handful of traders, cult traders, and then something happened, and some people from Sudbury basically said, "Hey, no more of this kidnapping shit," and they all rampaged up into the woods, and then it all stopped. That was more or less the level of detail you were able to extract from your many sources regarding the quote-unquote event.
Did Alex Trebek lead the charge?
No, he was even back in the 60s. He was too good for that.
Okay.
The more ridiculous parts of the story don't really bear delving into unless you're feeling particularly gullible right now.
No.
Yeah.
I would like to ask Fluke if any of that means anything.
Yeah, she in fact, she'd like to hear some of the more ridiculous parts if you care to recount them.
Now I would care to recount them.
Well, with a highly cynical tone to your voice, you tell her that supposedly a group of 12 clerics sacrificed themselves to consecrate the compound and seal the evil, and the death cult was trying to perform some vast ritual, and they were maybe partially successful, but after working on it for centuries, they more or less just petered out. And she's nodding. Fluke is nodding. She says, yeah, this place is like the magical equivalent of a fucking nuclear meltdown. There's magic radiation leaking around for miles. And she buys it. It sounds reasonable to her.
Okay.
All right, guys, let's go.
Will?
And she's positive. She's positive that Adustus is headed straight there. I mean, that this is where the trail leads again, and it sounds like a highly attractive target. Now she's finally beginning to understand why he would want to come here.
Ooh, can you see the Adustus's nimbus?
Yeah, is his nimbus? Is he already here?
Yes.
So we're just continually.
He passed straight through here.
All right. You guys you guys who brought weapons, like they're gonna do any good, should maybe be carrying them at the ready.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I just said I have my spike bat on my shoulder, ready for swinging.
Let's
go.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got everything.
Well, you hike on the trail north from Sellwood's parking lot to the mine entrance. And let's see here. After 10 minutes of hiking, you hear a man's voice. He says, "What have we here?" He sounds amused. And Fluke reacts. She says, you asshole! She can't believe what's happening. She sounds extremely alarmed. And just like that, you feel every nerve ending in your body firing at the same time. You may not have had a ton of experience with life-altering levels of pain, but you're pretty sure this is enough to stop your heart. And as the initial shock begins to wear off, you start to realize you can hear voices screaming around you, and you have just long enough to think to yourself, what a bunch of little bitches, when a moment later you come to grips with the fact that at least one of the voices is you.
Oh,
neat.
Huh?
Cool. You are screaming in pain right now.
Oh, neat.
Okay.
Sammy, time stops. You feel an itch. You feel an itch inside your head, like your brain needs to sneeze. It's really uncomfortable.
This is great.
Would you give me a wits plus occult roll for your unseen sense?
This guy might be a mage.
Oh, good. I failed.
Oh, good.
I used all my luck on trying to sleep with Fluke.
Okay, so you don't get a very clear sense of anything going on, but there is something swirling around you, and there's so much of it.
My brain itches.
There's so
and I'm
much
screaming in pain.
There's so much of whatever this is swirling around you. It seems impossible that you'd be unable to detect it right now. and yet you can't. It's like you've got your eyeballs tied behind your back.
Sure, sure.
So you've heard legends about pirates wearing eye patches so that when they board another ship and go below deck, they can swap the patch to the other eye and see well in the dark.
Yeah. I watch Mythbusters.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know.
So do I.
Why don't you give me another wits plus occult roll?
I would like to close my eyes and try this again.
Oh, you're closing your eyes. Well, I was going to give you a +1 for the notion of closing your eyes while you scream in pain, but you got a success. No, that's fine.
Okay.
Well, you know what? Yeah, roll one more. We'll see if you get any more. +1 for
What did
closing
I do?
your eyes.
5? I did 4 before.
No, just roll one more die.
Oh, sorry, I fucked up.
It's fine. Just roll a 1 right now,
Okay.
and we'll add it to your.
Nope, that's not right.
I'm not the only one.
Hey, I got
All right.
another one.
2 successes. You have a moment of intuition, and you open your third eye.
Hey.
Sammy. You've never really committed yourself to anything. You've never been able to focus on any one thing for any length of time. But now, surrounded by the endless eddies, currents, and waves of branching probabilities, you know why. The uncounted opportunities around you make it seem like nothing is impossible and anything can be forgiven in time. You want to look around a little, maybe? Give me like a a wits plus composure roll for your perception.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts? What do you want to look for?
I would like to look to see if there is any kind of streams flowing towards us while we're screaming, the cause of the screaming.
Interesting. Well, you take it all in, and you are actually able to sense some of these currents, and most of them are actually flowing outward from you. They look like smoky trails of Star Trek gunk. You turn around, and behind you, you see one very thick trail coming up the road, terminating somewhere in your chest. And the others seem to flicker. One will become more prominent for a second, and then it'll fade away while another one pops into the foreground. They're sort of undulating. You feel like you might be able to affect some of these things around you.
Yeah, I would like to try to sever the one connected to me.
Okay. Why don't you give me intelligence plus occult +2.
Oh shit. Hey.
4 successes.
Jesus.
Okay.
On a 4 dice roll.
That's pretty good. I almost wish you'd gotten 5.
God damn it.
Recall that 5 is an exceptional success. But
Sure.
you would swear that you can see your destiny unfolding before you like a yellow brick road. In fact, the
Am I
moment
having
you have
sex with Fluke at any point in time in the future?
you see it 15 feet down the road. The moment
Nice.
the moment you have that corny thought about a yellow brick road, the path coalesces into a literal yellow brick road, and it curves away through a field of poppies you hadn't noticed previously. It terminates at an emerald tower looming on the horizon, which you also hadn't noticed. It's all very whimsical.
Yeah.
What?
Timmy,
Yes.
you're still on the trail, but wow,
So was I
Bless
able
you.
to sever the tie?
we'll get back to you.
Is there a
okay.
ghost sneezing in the woods?
There's a ghost sneezing in the woods, and you all die.
No.
Timmy, you are still sitting on the trail, and inexplicably you're sitting cross-legged on the ground, and you have your laptop out.
Okay.
Searching for Wi-Fi.
What you don't feel pain anymore. What's Tim's favorite text editor when he does his hacking? Like
Emacs.
Vim Emacs? It's Emacs? Okay. So you're looking at Emacs on your side-booted Ubuntu installation. And your fingers are poised as if you're in the middle of typing a line of code, but you don't remember what you were doing.
Okay.
Would you like to
I
investigate?
remember what you were doing.
Yeah, would you
I
like
would
to?
very much like to investigate that.
Okay. Why don't
See
you
if-
roll?
what my recent jokes were.
All right. Tell us all about your recent strokes. Why don't you roll wits plus computer?
Oh, I can get 0. No.
Okay. Well, the code on the screen looks like an elegant representation of a human. You see some of the more abstract elements that are being inherited, like the id and ego and an array of emotions, the ability to belch, toenails, bad jokes. But at the moment, it seems like you're implementing someone specific.
Can I tell who?
Why don't you investigate? Give me another intelligence plus computer roll. Three successes. It's you. You feel suddenly very cold, and you haven't had any feelings in a while, you realize. So this feeling cold thing is new. You are cold. You're a being of pure thought, though, so the notion of coldness intrigues you. And before you can ponder it further, you realize that your Emacs window is actually one window in a Tmux session, and there are several more lined up on the bottom of the screen.
Let's check those other ones out.
All right, give me a intelligence plus computers check. All right. Somehow you find it very easy to focus on what you're doing while you're still pondering the idea of quote-unquote coldness. You split off one part of your brain to calculate some of the factors that would make a person cold, so you can add them to your design later. And another portion of your brain stays on the first Tmux window, working on your own implementation of you. When a third division of your brain springs into sentience to check out some of the other Tmux windows, you find it inconvenient to have only one thing on screen at the same time, so you duplicate the screen at several layers of depth. And you devote one fraction of your mind to each layer. And now you feel like you're finally actually hacking. Every Tmux window contains the source code for one of your group mates. There's Dewey and Sammy and Albacore. Fluke is there. And there's another one. They're all here. They're all fully code complete. Sammy is implemented in Visual Basic. You want to? What do you want to do?
I want to see if I can like locate any like attributes that I can tweak.
Make my penis bigger. Like hilariously.
Yeah, you gotta carry it over your shoulder.
That's right.
Give me an intelligence plus computers roll plus 3.
Oh.
Okay. 5 successes. Well, it turns out, yeah, there's intelligence, wits, resolve, strength, dexterity, stamina, presence, manipulation, composure. It's a wide array of skills and merits. There's all kinds of things you can tweak, and you can see that at the moment you've got 7 experience points to spend. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Meta.
Yeah. Are you at all interested in any of the other character sheets? Dewey, Sammy, Albacore, Fluke, and someone else.
Do this someone else.
Let's look at someone else.
Intelligence plus computer. One success. You can see the name. It's somebody named Kingmaker, but he's a compiled binary. He's a compiled binary. You can't make sense of the nonsense on your screen right now.
So I can't see his attributes.
You can't see his attributes. You can see Fluke's.
Let's look at those.
Fluke's implementation seems bloated and over-engineered. It was not done by you. It's not your style. There's like 1,500 lines of code here. You're pretty sure you could refactor and take out some cruft. In contrast, Dewey, Albacore, and Sammy are all like 10 lines of code each. Something that factors in prominently are their flaws. And you take a moment to consider their flaws. Dewey. We'll come back to Timmy. Dewey.
Mm-hmm.
You are driving your truck. You left it back on the road with the dead battery, but now you're driving it through a nondescript stretch of land that could be just about anywhere in the Midwest. The sky is cloudy, the road is wet, the fields on either side of the highway are infinite plains of mud and puddles. It's probably spring. There are no road signs, there's no other cars. In the distance, you see a large snapping turtle in the middle of your lane, and you're approaching it quickly. What would you like to do?
Drive over it?
You want to drive over it?
Well, I mean, without actually hitting it. I mean, it can just drive over it.
Over it, okay.
Just, avoid it, basically.
Hang on. You're going to avoid it by driving over it?
Well, yeah, it's a big truck. I mean, let's just this gigantic turtle that won't fit under my truck.
No, it's maybe I didn't describe it well enough. It's a large snapping turtle.
Oh. Well, then I'm going to stop because I don't want to,
I mean, if you want to go past it, you could go around it or something, but or you could stop.
Well, I'm interested as to why there's a gigantic snapping turtle that I can't just drive over in front of me, so I'm going to at least stop and look at it a little more.
Yeah, I mean, as you approach, the exaggerated proportions of this snapping turtle become apparent. It wasn't just big, as you get closer, you realize it's just massive, enormous.
Okay.
Am I the only one screaming in pain from all this?
You all are.
Why is everybody else?
You all
Really?
Are. Yes.
Oh, okay. So.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna stop.
Now.
So you put your foot on the brake pedal then, and at that very moment you pass a power line loaded with a line of crows, and they're all staring at you in complete silence. You're distracted by the crows, so you drive straight over the turtle.
Okay.
Thump, thump. What would you like to do now?
Well, at this point, I'm just gonna
Stop and get
I
a
don't know.
shell for
Was it just a thump thump, or did it sound like something got damaged? Like when I thought, oh shit, I broke something.
It sounds like you ran over the poor turtle.
Well, at that point, I'm just gonna keep going because if I ran it over, well, it's fucking dead.
All right.
As long as I don't think I damaged my truck, I'm just gonna keep going. I'll look in my rearview mirror and.
Okay. So you
as long
continue.
as there's not some swirly shit coming out of the turtle off the road, then I'll be fine. I'll keep going.
All right. So you check in the rearview mirror and you see nothing. There's nothing back there. It's just an empty road. And while you're looking in the rearview mirror, you run over the turtle. Thump, thump. What do you want to do now?
I want to stop.
All right.
Wait, no. I'm going to keep looking in my rearview mirror and keep going.
You look in the rearview mirror, and for a moment you think you see the turtle, and you think you see the crows circling over the top of the turtle, but then you blink and they're gone, and you run over the turtle. Thump,
okay,
thump.
now I'm going to stop.
All right. You
Yeah,
stop.
I will stop and get out and see if I can find the turtle.
It's right behind your truck. You're not going to have too much difficulty.
Well, I just want to make sure it's there this time.
This
So I
time
get
it's
out
there.
and- okay. Well, I go and look at it, and see if there's anything weird about it, or if it's just a smashed turtle.
It's struggling to move. It doesn't look like it's quite dead, but it's 70-80% of the way there. And it looks up at you and says, "Why did you run me over 3 times?" You feel like you can see into the turtle's body, and you can watch its heart pumping.
Okay.
And you can see that it's slowing down and that it's dying. And the turtle says, "I never did anything to you."
I blame the crows. I
The
was going to
crows-
stop.
The crows object. They break their silence, and they begin cawing in unison. And they're circling directly overhead. They seem offended. For some reason, you can sense their offense, And it's never occurred to you before, but crows don't say caw at all. They say raw, raw. They are stoked about the turtle meat they're about to have at their disposal.
Oh.
And the turtle speaks again and says, "Oh, well, such is life. Come and eat me then." And the crows begin to descend.
Well, I'll get out of their way then. I'll just...
All right.
I apologize to the turtle for hitting him, and then I get back in my truck.
The turtle says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! You sure? What?" And as you turn to look at your truck, you don't see your truck. You see an image straight out of some mechanized version of hell. It's huge, roaring, belching, greasy black smoke from every seam. And the hood is rattling and bouncing as the truck vibrates, and underneath it you can see the engine glowing red hot, like a fucking angry star. And we'll come back to you. Albacore!
What's up?
You find yourself in a classroom. All around you are rows of similarly dressed students, like this is a Catholic school and they're wearing uniforms. No one is moving. And as you attempt to turn your head and look around the rest of the room, you find you're unable to do so. You're frozen in place. You can only move your eyes. In fact, when you try to turn, your muscles don't even strain. It's like they're not responding at all. It's like half your body is just, well, a huge percentage of your body is just turned off. None of the students in front of you are facing you. All you can see is the backs of their heads.
Alright.
You hear the clock on the wall ticking seconds away, and at the front of the room, you see a tall man in a navy blue suit. And the light seems to bend into a sort of corona behind him, giving the impression of wings. His face is obscured by the hilt and crossguard of a golden broadsword, which is suspended in front of him, and it extends downward along the length of his body. It's so long that, without being able to move your head, you can't see the point of it. You get the disorienting sense that it's actually longer than it could possibly be, as if it extended all the way out of the bottom of your field of vision and to the center of the earth. The middle finger on his right hand is freakishly long, and he begins moving down the aisle between the desks, approaching you at a painfully slow pace. Good morning, poor little sleeper. What do you hope to accomplish here?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my.
That's creepy.
Do I recognize this guy or the sword in any way?
He looks like just a... I mean, you can't see his face. I mean, for all you can tell, he doesn't have a face. Aside, below the neck, he looks pretty mundane, but he's got fucking glowing wings and a golden sword in front of his face, and you can't move. You find yourself taking the first breath since this hallucination started, and upon further reflection, that means you haven't been breathing for a while now. But it does seem like you can probably talk at this point.
I'd like to ask him who he is.
Let's focus on you. You're like a spider in a bathtub. You carefully probe the world around you, testing your boundaries, but you always slide back to the bottom. He wants to know what you're hoping to accomplish here.
Man, I'm just trying to find out what happened to my friend.
Well, you're here by yourself. And the man has continued his leisurely stroll down the aisle, and the golden sword is preceding him. He moves out of your peripheral vision, and you hear a faint buzzing sound from his body as he approaches. And then you realize you can hear it in the clock, in the walls, in your own body, in the bodies of the people around you. And then he speaks again. It's time to finish the day's lesson. You can't see him anymore. He's behind you. What is skepticism? Did you hear his question?
I did hear his question. What is skepticism?
That was the question.
It's not believing something just because it appears to be true.
Very good. Skepticism is the pinch of salt you're tasting right now. Skepticism might let you keep your mind intact at times like these. I applaud you for your skepticism.
Your vision begins to transform, and you see light all around you, suffusing the entire room. Some of the students are dim, but others are blazing with some kind of energy. There's an electrical outlet near the front of the room, and your eyes tell you it's spitting bolts through the walls. And the lights above you are drenching the entire room with waves of fire. But you're pretty sure you're just hallucinating. The man is behind you now, and as he speaks his next words, what feels like a fingernail traces a jagged path down the back of your skull.
What is disbelief?
Let's see. What is disbelief? It is... Shit, it's the same as skepticism. It's... seeing something, but... seeing something, but ignoring how real it looks.
Disbelief is a noose, tethering you to the material world, choking you as you move away from the comforts of the mundane, and destroying you if you choose to fly.
He sighs heavily.
The period's about to end. Write your name on the blackboard, or I'll keep you after the bell.
And you still can't move. But you can see strings of energy holding you in place. They're not electricity or fire or electromagnetism. Why you feel like you know what electricity and fire and electromagnetism look like, you're not sure. But these aren't any of those. You can see them, and you think you can break them.
Well, I would like to try to break them.
Why don't you try giving me a... describe what you want to do to try and break them.
To break these beams of energy when I cannot move anything.
Well, it's the beams holding you in place.
The beams are holding me in place, okay. I would like to choose to believe that they are not holding me in place.
You would like to attempt to... If we buy into this, you'd like to attempt to dispel them.
Sure.
It sounds like a form of disbelief to me. Rejecting them so strongly that they simply cease to exist.
Yeah.
Well, then why don't you give me wits plus expression plus 3.
All right.
Two successes. You managed to... many of the lines simply pop out of existence. And the others are not restraining you nearly as tightly as the entire group was. And you managed to rise out of your janky little child's seat on your janky little child's desk. And as you move toward the front of the room, why don't you roll that, just make that same roll again for the last few bands of energy.
All right.
Wow. They all wink out of existence, and in fact, the fire you saw coming from the ceiling and the bolts you see shooting through the walls lessen in intensity and you move without any impediment to the front of the room. What would you like to do now that you're there?
I would like to write my name on the board.
Great. Sammy.
Yeah.
That's not Sammy. Where's Sammy? Let's go to
I'm over
Dewey
here.
first.
All right.
Sorry. Dewey.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at your demon truck.
Okay.
In the distance behind your demon truck, you see a water tower in the middle of one of the fields. You can't quite make out the details. But why don't you give me an intelligence plus investigation plus 3 roll. One success. All right. You can't make out the details, but then suddenly your vision snaps into some amazing clarity, and you can. It looks like it's made of stone somehow. Most water towers are not. You've never seen anything like it in Wisconsin. And at the top, where you would expect to see the name of a town painted, instead you see the Atlantean word for here. The flaming truck seems to be guarding your path toward the tower, but you feel like you need to get there.
Okay. Then I think I'll try to get there. I mean, I'll try to go. I'll walk around the truck.
Why don't you give me a wits plus composure roll? Dang. All right. You start to walk around and immediately notice that the demon truck is moving to block your path. You're not moving fast enough. But for some reason, you feel like not only could you banish your truck back to hell with a wave of your hand if you felt like it, you also feel the muscles in your arms and legs swelling with potential. You've already apparently given yourself the eyeballs of a goddamn eagle. You suspect with nothing more than a thought you could give yourself the speed of a cheetah, or the awesome trunk of an elephant, or the ears of a shrew. I assume shrews have terrific ears.
They must.
Or the
Launch your
egg
truck
with
back
the-
to
with the
hell.
platypus.
Do you?
Well, I'm gonna get rid of the truck.
All right.
I don't want the demon truck in front of me anymore.
It's hurt to hear that.
Well, it looks like it's wants to hurt me. So
Why don't you
Over it.
roll presence plus intimidation plus 3?
You're trying to intimidate a demon truck
Fine.
from hell. Holy balls, that's a lot of dice.
yeah.
One
One
success.
success.
The truck snarls at you as demon trucks are wont to do. Roll that same roll again. It seems like it's starting to fall apart, like one of the panels falls off the front, and you can see the engine smoking, and it seems very unhappy, and it starts to kind of shrink away from you. You can either roll that again and try to banish it, or make another attempt at moving around it.
What about this? It's my truck. I want to use my truck to get to the water tower. So I'm just going to get in my truck. And because it's my truck,
You
and it's gonna
intuitively
listen to me.
you intuitively sense that if you just try to get into the truck, it will
that'll be bad.
burn you alive, chew you up, spit you out. But let's see here. You also intuitively sense that you might want to roll presence plus intimidation plus 3.
Okay, so I'll do that again.
What?
All right, so this
Truck gives you a blowjob.
this is this is actually this is a different roll from the last one you did. The last two you did. I know it's the same dice pool, but it's a different
Okay.
thing you're trying to do here.
Okay.
You feel like you could now give this thing orders. You could tell it to do something, like stop trying to burn me, you bitch, or go pick up that turtle and carry it to safety away from the flock of crows devouring its corpus, or go drive to that tower over there and bomb straight into it and knock it down. I mean, it'll do just about anything you say.
Go pick up the turtle and then take me to the tower. How about that?
The front shocks kind of depress a bit, and it looks like it's bowing to you for a moment, and then it zips off down the road. You're not sure exactly how, but it does like a parking brake turn, and the rear gate is pointed toward the turtle, and all the crows are frightened by the sudden noise and flurry of activity, and they take off and fly away. And as the truck leans into its brake, the rear end of the truck sinks nearly to the ground, and the turtle gets scooped up into the back, and then the truck puts it in, forward drive and comes back and opens the door for you.
All right. Well, then I'm going to get in now. All
right. You get in.
Go to the tower.
The truck obediently drives you straight to the tower with the Atlantean word for here written on the top. From the bed of your pickup truck, you hear the turtle gasping in what sounds like a perverse mixture of agony and pleasure. But you arrive at the tower, and more than anything, you want to write your name on it.
Okay.
You don't have anything to write with, though. What are you going to do?
I've got turtle blood.
Wow.
I ran it over 3 times. It's got to be bleeding.
All right. You dip your finger in the blood pooling around the snapping turtle.
Yeah.
And you write your name on the tower.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Timmy.
Yeah,
I hope you've been thinking about it, yes. Mr. Brain Man. It's time to start listing your companion's flaws. They are imperfect, and you find yourself obsessed with rooting out all these pointless little inefficiencies. So Dewey, what's his major imperfection?
He's too in love with the truck.
Yeah. And what about Sammy?
Sammy,
Too in love with the flute.
is too in love with himself.
Let me turn down the volume just a smidge. Too in love with himself. Albacore, what's his flaw?
Too in love with the truth.
Ooh, very, very good. And Fluke?
Not in love with anything.
Very poetic. Before you bother trying to list your own flaw, with some level of egotistical horror, you realize that your implementation is incomplete. There's a stupid bug somewhere.
No.
Your many-divided mind draws back into itself. You reclaim all of your lost processing power, and you bend it toward this problem. You stare at the code that defines you as a human and try to find the problem. Would you please roll intelligence plus computer plus 3?
Yeah. Just hoping.
3 successes. You find a missing semicolon. Would you like to type in the character and recompile yourself?
You're damn right I would.
Give me intelligence plus computer plus 3.
Oh god, fail this.
You are uncompiled.
1 success. All right, we're moving on. Dewey.
All right.
Not Dewey. God damn it! I have the names transposed on my fucking sheet. Sammy.
Can I quick think about how to spell embalming?
Yeah. You know what? That's another bug you find in your code, and you see it there in Sammy and Albacore's code too. What do you want to do about that?
I would like to try to fix it.
All right. Intelligence plus computer plus 3. Two successes. You end the embalming curse for all 3 of you. Why don't you give yourself +1 XP for the inventive thinking there? That was good.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry, not Dewey now, but Sammy.
Yeah, I have my third eye.
You have your third eye. You have a yellow brick road, a poppy field, and an emerald tower. What would you like to do?
What? Okay, you didn't tell me if I was able to successfully sever the link into me.
That seems irrelevant at this point. You see the swirling links around you, but why don't you give me wits plus? Let's look at your character sheet. Wits plus occult plus 3.
Okay.
Three successes. You are staring at... You ever see Donnie Darko?
Yeah.
You're staring at, like, pure destiny, like fate, like timelines. It doesn't appear to have anything to do with what's afflicting you at the moment. You can affect it, you can analyze it, but it would probably be detrimental to sever your own fate.
So I can see my own, like, my destiny, my fate, what's coming next for me.
Yep.
Okay, so you said before that I saw myself having sex with Fluke in the near future.
Yes, but that vision has faded, and now you are looking at a field of poppies and an emerald tower.
Okay, so everything I see is either based on the Wizard of Oz or something I want to have happen, right?
At the moment, it appears to be based on the Wizard of Oz.
But before, it was things that I wanted to have happen. Just wait. I'm on a theme here.
When you were in what you would deem the real world, you were seeing the future, apparently.
Okay, so I'm falling deeper into this weird trance instead of out, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to cut this fucking thing.
Okay, you want to cut the one behind you, or the one in
No, I
front
want to
of
cut
you?
the tether that's going into my chest.
From behind you.
It's nice knowing you, Drew. Or Sammy.
The big, thick timeline that represents everything you've done up to this point and leads into the core of your being. You'd like to sever that.
So, am I in reality still screaming in pain right now?
You're not in reality right now.
Okay, so I need
You're
to get the
standing
fuck
in a
out
field of poppies on a yellow brick road looking at the Emerald Tower on the horizon.
Just follow the yellow brick road, Dorothy.
I want to cut the tether going into my chest.
Well, let's see.
From outbound into me.
Let me see what I can find for that.
I really hope you succeed and like have no idea who you are.
Yeah.
And
He's gonna pass out. He's
your
gonna
character.
You know what's
your
gonna happen?
character sheet
I'm gonna
gets
come out of this and be like,
deleted.
"Wow, you're the only one who didn't realize you were in a delusional state, and now you save everyone else." everyone else dies, and I'm left alone in the Canadian wilderness. I hope you're all happy.
Yeah, but you'll have my demon truck to get home with.
Your demon truck doesn't exist. It's in your fucking mind, you weirdo.
Maybe you should just go write your name on the Emerald Tower.
He's trying to forge his own destiny here. The problem is, Drew, if we're going to talk in game terms, the action you're describing, even in your boosted state right now, no, it makes sense. You can do this, but not at the current level of power you have. You can sever your own fate. You can reforge your own destiny. You can destroy the bindings that are holding your soul someplace it doesn't belong. You can do all kinds of things along those lines, but not at the level of power I've got you at right now.
Okay. I mean, based on what I know in what's happening, this is what I want to do. I guess there's consequences to that, but that's what I want to do.
All right. What? Roll. Let's see here. Let me get the actual roll. Roll.
An actual roll for severing your tie with fate.
Sure.
It's a well-known role.
Listen, I rolled a 10 on a chance roll. I'm invincible.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
Use all your willpower.
All right. We're gonna use this spell. Resolve plus occult plus 3. But it's contested. You're attempting to destroy the binding that has your soul here in apparently Oz. And for that, you will use Resolve plus Occult plus 3, but it's a contested roll, and you're up against the potency of the bonds themselves. So,
okay.
Subtract 10.
God damn it! I'd have to use all my willpower to get 9 plus 6, so I'd have 15 against that. So I'd have 5. If I used all my willpower, I would get 5
you
dice.
can only spend 1 willpower per roll.
Well, then that's a -1, so I can't do that. I can't.
Then
I
roll.
can't get out of this shit.
You don't have you feel like
So
it's
stuck in
something that's
goddamn
possible.
Oz.
You feel like it's something possible. Like you're beginning to learn to speak Russian, and you're staring at a copy of Anna Karenina written in Russian, and you're like, well, why can't I read this yet?
Okay. So, do I have to go to the fucking Emerald City? Is that what's happening? I have to walk through the poppy field towards the Emerald Tower?
No, absolutely
I would like
not.
No, that's what I want to do. I guess that's what I have to do. And I'm bitter about it.
I
want to bitterly walk towards the Emerald City. Fuck that. No, I'm walking. That's not happening again.
Let me suggest something else then.
No, I'm walking to the Emerald City through the poppy field. I'm praying for snow so I don't pass out. No, you know what? I'm going to snort this field. I want to snort the field.
Oh, he's an angry Dorothy.
He's very unhappy with his current fate.
I want to snort the field of poppies.
You do not have to walk through the field of poppies. You do not have to
I want to
approach the
snort
tower
it.
at all.
All right, that's what I want to do.
You know they have to be refined first, Drew.
Nope. We got no time.
It's just gonna smell like a bagel.
Well, it smells like poppies.
Okay, well then I'm walking to the goddamn Emerald City.
Well, take your chance die on severing these bonds. Nothing's ever completely impossible.
Hey!
Fuck you!
Oh, Jesus!
Fuck you!
What?
I am the goddamn king of chance die.
This is terrible. This is gonna go so bad in the future.
This is gonna go straight to his head.
You fail.
No, you wake up in the forest outside the Sellwood. What do you want to do?
Am I alone?
You're in excruciating pain. You're surrounded by your group mates. And let me describe what you see. There's a man standing bolt upright against a tree. He looks like he's pinned there by points of the same magnesium light you saw back at the Bayshore Apartments when Fluke burned a zombie. His legs are blackened. They are slowly turning to cinders and crumbling away. He's burning like a wick from the bottom up. His feet are already missing.
Where is he in relation to our group? Is he opposed to us?
He's on the side of the trail, pinned against a large tree.
Okay.
And Fluke is standing next to him, quaking in anger.
Is she cognizant?
Yes.
So she can talk to me?
She appears to be, yes.
So she can talk to me?
Have you tried talking to her yet? She's not facing you. She doesn't know you're awake.
Fluke, can you hear me?
Okay. It comes out as an anguished cry of despair. And Fluke whips around and stares at you in horror. And then she turns back to the man pinned to the tree and clenches her fists, and the burning of his legs accelerates imperceptibly. And he laughs and says, 3 for 4 ain't bad.
I would like to swing my spike bat at his face.
You are pinned to the ground by your own pain, Drew.
I fucking snapped out of it, I thought.
You're conscious.
And I can't move.
You're in excruciating pain. What would you like to try?
Chance.
God damn it.
Chance what?
Nothing happens.
Chance that I can move.
All right. So you can't
move. So I cannot move no matter what I do here.
At the moment, no.
I would like to close my eyes, grit my teeth, and swing my fucking bat at this thing.
Well, why don't you close your eyes, grit your teeth, spend a point of willpower, and try to stand up?
Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna stand up. I spent a point of willpower. Now what?
Roll stamina plus survival -1.
What about my willpower?
Oh, willpower. So roll another 3.
Okay. Sorry. I rolled shit. I mean, rolled 3.
It's fine. It's fine. 2 successes. So you struggle to your feet, and as you struggle to your feet, you look around you and at your surroundings. You see everyone else on the ground. They're not obviously in pain, but they are sort of tossing and turning in some sort of sleep. And you see some blackening around the edges of your on the tips of your fingers, and patches around your skin, and you see it on all of them as well.
I don't like it.
Well, you're standing up now.
I am standing up. Can I? How far from the person that Fluke is clearly upset with am I?
They're not far. The path is wide, but it's a wide path is only like 15 feet. You were somewhere in the middle, so they are off on the edge, maybe 8 to 10 feet away.
And no one is actively moving. Everyone is pinned basically, and this is all in slow-mo, effectively, right?
They all look like they're having a fitful sleep, aside from the man who is literally pinned against the tree. And Fluke.
I'm gonna draw my pistol.
Okay. Give me a.
I have quick draw.
Yeah. So you will be able to do this and fire in the same turn if you make some stellar rolls.
Okay.
Roll dexterity plus What's good for drawing your pistol?
Firearms?
For drawing your pistol, I guess. But
Shit, I don't know.
just give me a dexterity roll, and I want you to spend a willpower for another 3 dice, and it'll be at a -3. So you're going to get 4 dice, and you're going to spend a willpower.
You're welcome, everyone! You didn't... Yeah, 2.
2 successes. You draw your pistol. You don't drop it. You pull back. Do you pull back the slide or cock it? It's like a 6-shooter.
This is a modern pistol. I don't have to pull back shit. It's
You know-
ready.
Okay.
I disengaged the safety.
You're telling me you've got a round chambered and ready to go?
No, I've disengaged the safety on my pistol.
Okay. Does it make an audible sound?
No, because it's just the
Not like a
sliding
click?
of the safety. No,
Okay.
there's no. Sure, there's a fucking click. I guess. Does that make you happy? Is that what you want?
Well, that was my question. Does it make an audible sound?
No, there's no audible sound.
Okay.
It's one of those silent.
It's one of those
Well,
silenced
what kind
pistols.
of, I mean, there are guns that.
silencer on it.
Sure.
There's
Like,
there's
if you have
another
a Glock,
video for
he's-
sex go-to on
what
kind of
YouTube
gun is
Nation
this,
fan.
Drew?
I imagine he keeps it well greased.
Yeah, it's a
I'm just
lubricated
saying, if
pistol.
you have a Glock, there is not a. There's just a trigger safety. It's not actually a thing you.
That's
Okay.
yes, that's what happened.
He is always using lubricants.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, what are you aiming at?
I'm going to fire at the skull of the person that Fluke is angry at, who I do not recognize.
Who is currently incapacitated and doesn't appear to be a threat?
Yes.
Okay. Dexterity plus firearms plus 2 for your pistol, -3 for the exceptional amount of pain you're in.
How many minus?
3. Two successes?
Yeah.
Oh shoot, sorry. And you're aiming at his head, you said.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a called shot. I should have given you a different dice pool. Let me look that up real quick. Fuck. Specified target head is -3, so roll 1 die and spend your last point of willpower if you want to.
Goddamn right.
So that's 4, right? So that would put
Yeah.
you at 4. Okay, then you got 2 successes.
Oh,
Actually-
we're doing it again?
No, okay,
Well, I
so
got-
you rolled the same roll twice and got successes both times, so you're going to be
Yeah.
successful. You hit him in the head, and you deal heavy damage to his face. You knock his nose clean off his face, and now
What
he
is it? Side shotting?
Well, he's, for some reason you can't discern, it's not an instant kill, but you have hit him in the head, and he is gushing blood from a face wound.
All right.
Fluke turns around and stares at you in disbelief.
Oh God. I shot the wrong guy.
Surprise.
And around you, your group mates all begin to wake up.
Hey! You're welcome, everybody.
Yeah, but I signed my name on the tower. I don't never know why.
Listen, I'm never
But
going to
I was
Oz.
debugging.
The horse of a different color can fuck itself.
So Liuv signed his name. Shale signed his name. Norlin fixed his implementation, which we'll take as a stand-in for signing his name.
And I shot a dude in the face.
Drew shot a dude in the face, and may spend the rest of his life in exceptional pain. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Fluke.
Oh, God damn it.
Fluke sees everyone standing up, and she looks over at Kingmaker. His name is Kingmaker. She looks over at him and sort of shrugs and half-heartedly waves at him, and the blood flow seems to slow a bit. but he's still...
She waved at the dude that shot in the face?
Yes.
Well, this is a bad idea.
Oh, he's still burning from the bottom up. In fact, another chunk of embers drops off his leg. It might be a kneecap. You're not sure.
Wonderful.
And he's still bleeding from the face. He's still severely damaged. He might pass out in a moment, but it doesn't appear that his life is immediately imperiled, as in he's going to die in the next 10 seconds. She's given him some form of treatment to keep him alive for just a little bit longer.
God damn it.
So everyone's standing, everyone's conscious. Fluke is... She's shaking her head in sorrow and disbelief, and she says, I'm so sorry. He used 4 different arcana, hung a spell in the air. I couldn't even see it. She turns toward him and says, fucker thinks he's fancy, and he almost killed every single one of us. Kingmaker gurgles a little bit. And Fluke says, shut up. I guess we'll just leave it there unless somebody who has something they want to do.
Wait, she's apologizing to Kingmaker?
No, she's talking to you guys. She's sorry.
Talking to us.
She should have been able to... She clearly feels like she should have been able to do more to prevent what just happened. You can interrogate, or interview her or interrogate him or whatever you'd like to do at this point.
I'd like to ask what the hell just happened.
If anyone but you asked, maybe we'd get an answer. You son of a bitch.
No, her Fluke's demeanor has changed. She's not treating any of you, with kid gloves anymore. And she tells you, well, Kingmaker here, fucking faggot, is a prime mage, just like me. He thinks he can detect sleepwalkers with especially strong attunement to magic, and he uses a combination of spells to lay traps that he thinks will force you to awaken.
So he's the one who did this to us?
Yes, we drove right into his stupid trap. He didn't know I was here, or he probably would have backed off. He couldn't see through my concealment. And when she says that, she indicates the dagger that she's always carrying with her. Or the knife.
Why is he burning?
Well, this is what he was going to do to you. And as she says that, Kingmaker seems surprised to hear it. He gurgles in alarm and looks down and sees what's happening to his body, and he begins shrieking in terror.
Can we pour some water on him?
If you can find some water, you can try.
But let me check Google Maps.
Pee on him.
On 3, everybody pee on him.
Well, he's gonna die. Fluke is perfectly happy to let him die. She wanted him to be alive for a little while longer so she could interrogate him, and she has apparently finished doing that, having gathered information on him and his objective, and at this point,
Kingmaker if he's working with Adustus.
He looks at you in, he's gurgling blood out a hole in the front of his face, and he's now utterly horrified at the fact that he's being consumed by magical fire. But he's somewhere deep in his expression, you can see complete confusion. He has no idea what you're talking about.
He's just out here for no reason.
No. Fluke says, well, he probably prowls around Sudbury all the fucking time, and he probably figured when he saw us that this is where we were headed, and he beat us here and laid the fucking trap. He probably saw some of the protective spells I'd cast on you and thought they were an indication of some sort of magical attunement and thought you were good candidates.
Candidates for what?
becoming listen to Kingmaker. He thinks he's fancy. He thinks he's good at this. He thinks he can detect burgeoning young mages and force them to awaken. He puts them in immediate peril where their only options are die or awaken.
I figure he wants me to be a mage now. Right?
Okay, we'll get to you at a later date.
None of us died. Like
no one died.
We all succeeded. I don't know.
Am I in terrible agonizing
Does that
pain
mean we're all? Wait a minute. Oh wait. If those are the only two options, does that mean we're all mages?
Well, the three of you are.
Okay.
Oh God.
About Sammy.
There's a concept. So Fluke explains for a moment that we can get into the details at a later date, but she says that it seems the three of you have successfully awakened and are now more or less mages. Congratulations.
I fucking bested him and shot him in the face.
And she looks at Sammy, and she looks forlorn. She says, "Well, you didn't die, but there's such a thing as awakening wrong."
He woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
God damn it. God damn it.
I told you it was a vampire.
She seems to she actually seems to be on high alert. Specifically with regard to Sammy.
Well, yeah, he keeps hitting on her.
And if anyone asks her about it, she says that that people who awaken wrong tend to have a warped relationship with magic and a hatred of magic, and they become something called banishers.
Ooh. What do banishers do?
She's extremely wary of talking about this in earshot of Sammy at this point, but...
Well, so I'm guessing it's a person who, under magical, impression, says, fuck this, fights it, gets out, and then shoots the person who did it in the fucking head.
A banisher is someone who hunts and kills mages, typically, because they have a burning hatred of magic because of their wrong and painful and broken awakening.
Yeah, I feel that.
Sounds about right.
Okay, so based on all of that information, there's everybody in the world is either unawakened, so they don't know what's going on, or they're mages, or they hate mages. So everybody in the world has a possibility.
Oh, that's enormously reductive. There are
sleepwalkers are people who are attuned, but aren't aware of it.
Oh, so there's something she needs to explain to you right away before anybody tries casting any fucking spells. The reason she has been so reticent to cast spells is that, again, we can get into more detail later, but the universe, the material world, rejects magic, even more than Albacore.
Wow.
And so you need to cast either subtle spells that reality doesn't notice, or you are casting vulgar spells, and you need to find some way to trick reality into buying it, essentially. Like, if you throw a fireball, reality's going to be like, hey, fuck that, and you're going to invoke something called paradox. And paradox has terrible, nasty implications for the mage casting the spell.
You're right.
She mentioned vulgar magic. Was it Adustus uses vulgar magic?
Adustus uses almost exclusively vulgar magic.
Huh.
And the implications for him are even worse, because he's a much more powerful mage. The effects of paradox are considerable. And one thing that she fears he's been doing is absorbing the paradox as damage to his corporeal form, aka damage to Allison.
Oh my.
So, that's where we are. We have 3 mages and a possible banisher, or maybe a half-awakened mage. I'm not sure. We'll have to figure out what the fuck happened to Sammy.
Drooby.
But, we'll also have to figure out what happens with Kingmaker here. I don't know what
So
you guys want to
Kingmaker
do.
is currently
I'm playing.
got his nose shot off and sitting there smoldering.
If left to his own devices, Kingmaker will rapidly die. Yes. And if you're fine with that, then you're fine with that, and Kingmaker can die, and that's the end of Kingmaker.
I don't know. It seems like
Seems like he might have information.
Fair more about information. We might want to see if we can try to save him, at least for now.
So Fluke, you guys have been out for you don't know how long, but Fluke has been interrogating him, and she's pretty convinced he's just a backwoods hick, effectively, who isn't familiar enough with mage society to know what a terrible fucking bad idea it is to run around forcibly awakening people. And he thinks he's fancy shit. And that's because he's a small-town mage who doesn't know jack shit about shit. And she is thoroughly unimpressed by him and would probably resist the notion of keeping him alive. But it's still up to you guys. I mean, you can outvote her at this point. It's 3 mages to 1.
So he's the one that awakened us, or made it whatever, right?
He sprung a trap on you, and you awakened yourselves. If you had been normal sleepers with no potential to be mages, you would just have burned to death in a coma.
Oh, neat. Okay, so he knows how to do that at least. Huh.
Yeah, you don't want to run around asking him to do that to people, though. That's
right. I don't know. I think it seems like we shouldn't just let him burn up right now. I mean, I'm okay with later.
Yeah, I think we should save him and so we can get some of our answers.
We'll promise Fluke we'll kill him later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fluke.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm all about more information.
As far as Fluke is concerned, this guy's a danger to everyone. You know, you don't fully understand the implications of what he's doing yet, but
I would like to offer to Fluke that I will shoot him in the face again if it would help her.
She's perfectly comfortable with him being dead, but at the same time, if you guys want to keep him alive, there's probably something she can do to prevent him from ever doing what he did again. So it's a question to answer next time, I guess. But she's willing to go along with it begrudgingly if you want to keep him alive, but she will take steps to prevent him from ever doing anything remotely similar to what he pulled tonight.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Well, good night, YouTube.
Good night.